evening, and welcome to another episode of Beyond Focus TV show. I'm your host, Oni Higgins, and we have a great show tonight, joined with Naquasia Pollard. But first, a quick break. We'll be right back.
Beyond Focus TV allows you to discuss contemporary topics affecting the Caribbean people on both a national and local level. The show features informed guests who offer insight, debate, and evaluate various issues. Beyond Focus TV builds on the station's mission to provide useful information to the Caribbean people in New York and abroad. Beyond Focus TV, where our viewing audience can get educated, informed, and empowered.
Welcome back to Beyond Focus TV show. I'm your host, Oni Higgins, and we're joined by Naquasia Pollard, CEO of PureLegacee. Just talk to me a little bit. I know everyone's excited that you're onboarding. You're here with us tonight. Just tell me what inspired you to create PureLegacee.
What inspired me to create PureLegacee was really when I learned my history about being an African American in today's society. When I obtained my bachelor's degree while I was incarcerated at Bethel Hills Correctional Facility from Marymount Manhattan College. And I wrote my senior thesis on this topic of how, the social culture effects of slavery on the African American family post institutions, how institutions affect our families, and I was one of those statistics. I was 19 years old and I was charged with robbery in the first degree with a deadly weapon, where I served 15 years of incarceration.
Wow. So just walk us back a little bit and tell us about your story and what inspires you, what motivates you every day. I know that you spoke on incarceration a bit, but just talk to me on what was that process like in your life to motivate you to where you are right now.
That's funny that you asked me that question. My life in itself has not been easy, but it wasn't bad compared to others. I had different type of certain experiences, positive experiences, family, friends, etc. Like my childhood friends, they're my childhood friends to this day. It was me really focusing on what needs to happen. And how can I be a part of the solution? When I was in the streets, I was homeless at 17 years old, but I always went to school, right? Education was my escape, and it still is, but we're going to bring you up to that during this interview. And I know that when a young girl is hurting, right? Hurting to where it's despair, it's hopelessness, it's abandonment, all of those things. And, I just found that I'm good at this, right? Working with young girls, identifying, my struggles, and I never forget who I was at 17 years old, 16 years old, and what I needed.
That's interesting. So what are some words that you would give your younger self, if you could, today? What would you tell your younger self?
You dope. You are a queen, and you should be treated as such and carry yourself as such. There's a saying my mentor always tells me, when my crown gets heavy, it's only heavy to the person that wears it. And I wear mine as well. And it's motivating, and like that, you dope. You can do anything you put your mind to. That's what I would tell my 17-year-old self. Like, you're dope, you can do it, you're smart, you're pretty, and you can do this, and you got it.
Absolutely, absolutely. What advice would you give to other young women? I know that people might hear your story and be super inspired, super motivated, look up to you. What advice would you give to other young women?
Do it now. Like, take advantage of the opportunity that PureLegacee provides. Not all organizations do that. I'm very intentional with each and every girl that I ever came across. Since 2020, PureLegacee has mentored 124 girls. As a small nonprofit during the global pandemic and figuring it out, where I was able to give myself to these girls in each and every one of them. Like today, we closed out our summer youth with the tea party. Every girl dream. As a little girl, we played with our tea sets, right? Let's make that happen. That's what I give to these young women, and I give it to them the real. What's going on, and you need to be aware, and you need to be prepared, because the world is not nice, and you have to show up different because you are a leader. You have a different level of responsibility, and carry that.
Right. You spoke about the world not being nice. Talk to me on what barriers do you think are in place for young women, especially women of color, like systematic barriers that they may have to go through.
Reproductive health, as African American people, and as a woman, we don't know our health. We don't know how our organs work, why we reproduce, what comes along with those responsibilities. One of the things that I instilled in my girls, you have to be aware of who you are, and your temple is your body, and don't allow anyone to push you around. Right? When you feel out of whack, tap into your ancestors. They are there. They're listening. And we are what our generation has been waiting for. And
that's right. That's definitely right. I want to go into PureLegacee a little bit more. Talk to me on what the organization is. What do you do? What programs are available?
So PureLegacee is a safe haven for a girl. Any girl can go in there and feel safe wherever we are. I'm a credible messenger, so I instill restorative justice practices. First thing I provide for these young women is healing in a safe space. As young women, we are not safe walking the streets of New York. I was that broken girl walking the streets of Brooklyn, and nobody saved me. They overlooked me. They was like, oh, she go to school, she do what she got to do, but I was broken in all essence of the word, and I had to repair myself. I had to learn how to heal. So when a girl comes into PureLegacee, she's going to learn how to heal. She's going to know who she is as a person, who she wants to be, and if she don't know right now, she will figure it out, right? We have awesome, which is my baby, the 16-week mentor training program, where we build you down to build you up, right? We provide you a space for you to heal within in order to be given to someone in your community. That's why we came up with the Big Sister Little Sister program. You have to invest in the little ones. Don't forget your 13-year-old self, your 9-year-old self. What did you need? And this is a different time where social media takes over their lives, right? And I utilize that. All right, so let's do a positive TikTok. What are your friends not doing that, right? So we have that. Then we have the 8-week Intern leadership program, which is super dope. It teaches a young African American woman about positive self-image. That is the premise of our foundation of all our programs, is to have a positive self-image of self and give you tools in order for you to improve your human conditions as a woman, as an individual, or if you identify as a woman. We also take the LGBTQ. We are very welcoming. Even as a little person, you might feel like I feel like I'm a boy, right? But why you can't come to a space where you are safe to express yourself, be who you are. So the Intern Leadership Program is an awesome program where it teaches a young person in leadership and professional development, emotional intelligence. It teaches, how to diffuse conflict in the workplace, how you can be that person and be like, no, we ain't got to do this just because we are black and we are sisters and this is what people expect from us. We don't have to be in conflict. Then we have the Resource Hub, which is just a buku of resources, right?
Nice. Well, that sounds amazing. I'm not cutting you off, but we're going to take a real quick break, and we will be right back. Stay tuned. welcome back to Beyond Focus TV show. I'm Oni Higgins, and we're here with Naquasia Pollard. And if you missed our first half of this episode, don't worry, we have some more hot information coming. We were just having a good conversation, and you mentioned brokenness as a black woman in the streets of New York, and I feel like sometimes we're often overlooked, right? We can be broken, but no one will notice. Like, we just go on into society like, not that we don't exist, but it's just like we're going. Yeah, we're just going and going, yes. And that's the strongness of being a black woman. So why do you think a program like this was needed for the black community here in Brooklyn?
Because we are an organization that breaks generational curses. Period.
Yeah, and that's important.
My hairs just stood up, and this is real for me. I'm intentional. I don't allow any girl to fall at the waistline. My team and I, we work hard, and this is selfless work. And we're able to do it in the capacity. Some girl, I had a parent call me at 9:00 at night, right? Mm-hmm. To make sure that their child was, to tell me something about their child that's in the program. So that's how personal it is for all of us that work at PureLegacee. PureLegacee, like I said, it is a space where generational curses are broken.
Nice. What do you think the girls leave with? And what do you hope that they leave with after attending the mentorship program or attending the summer workshop? What do you want them to leave with?
I want them to leave with, I'm dope. I just left someone and know the founder and executive director as a strong woman, overcame all these barriers and still here and doing it and making it, and know what to do when you out there in the street. It's not, like I said, it's a cold world, but when a girl leaves from PureLegacee, she, I get it.
You have a strong voice, and I can tell, your energy is super genuine. How do you continue to always be positive? Do you have days when you feel like, I'm not feeling it today, or I'm down on myself today? And if you do have days like that where you feel a little bit unmotivated, how do you pump yourself up to keep going?
I have Allah, I have God, first and foremost, and I have a good network. I have so many mentors that I go to for certain things, and I have mentors that I go for everything in all realms of life, right? To men, to heartbreak, to betrayal, doing this work, how people can be not nice and still, because I'm a genuine person, I'm sensitive, I'm a Pisces. So I'm very in tune with what's going on in my environment, and I'm very, I just have people that build me, they pour into me, they invest in my leadership, they invest in who I am and who I'm gonna be, right? I'm not even at my pinnacle yet.
That's right.
In my career, and I'm 39 years old, but at 55 I will be retiring from doing this work. But when I leave, I left a legacy.
So do you think that you would be where you are today without that support system?
No, I would not. When I reflect on the things that I have overcame from me coming home, you have to remember when I was incarcerated, I was 19 years old, and I was pregnant with my daughter. My daughter just turned 19. So I have a child. She's a female. I get it. So I'm very intentional. The days where I fell down on myself, I think about something I did the other day that made me positive, that I invested in somebody, that somebody invested in me, what that looked like, and get centered. I get my chakras centered, and it's kumbaya after that. I get centered, and I'm very intentional on who's in my aura, who's in my space. You have to be invited to be in my space.
That's
Before,
important.
It wasn't like that.
That's important, especially for young women to know.
Right.
You just
boundaries.
Can't be out with and boundaries. You can't be around everyone. Everyone doesn't have your best interests, or not even thinking from a negative standpoint, but
right.
Also you want to surround yourself with positive. Maybe you might have people who are too negative around you and you want more positivity. So what are some things, like if you had a checklist or like a guide list for young Black women, what are some things that every young Black woman should do to uplift herself and to be inspiring and motivational? Like maybe it's reading certain books or taking self-care, like things like that. What do you think that would be?
I think that every young woman should get a higher sense of self. Whatever your spirituality is, you have to be grounded. You have to be humble. You have to be grateful. That's what I will offer to any young Black woman in the world just trying to be somebody. And I will also let her know, go get a sister girl that looks like you, that's older than you, still swaggy, to be able to instill in you and invest. That's
important. It's not about walking a walk or talking a talk, but you got to walk the walk too. So just instilling that in, preaching what you're doing, what you're preaching as well. So that's important. So I know we talked about some of the things that PureLegacee do. If someone wanted to get involved with PureLegacee, like where would they go? How would they get involved?
Okay, so PureLegacee, you can go on to our information at PureLegacee, PureLegacee.org. You can visit there. You can also visit our beautiful website for any information, to apply for any programs, and even to volunteer.
We're going into a short break. We'll be right back. I'm here with Naquasia Pollard, and we just left off getting into a really steamy and important conversation. Just talk to me on, I know that you said that you're a mom, you have a daughter who just turned 19. Just talk to me on how motherhood has impacted your journey to where you are today.
Isaiah gave birth to me. She teaches me every time. We laugh together, we cry. When she go through things, when I go through things. It's, I raised her behind bars. And I had to learn how to be a mother. And, your mother is nurturing. She's the first one to give you a bottle and things like that. And I wasn't able to do that. The incarceration system robbed me of that. And I don't try to be bitter about it. Me and Isaiah, we move on. We still able to smile. We're still able to give. We're still able. And that's the most important thing for me as being a mother. And what motivates me for the organization is that I listen to her. I look at her. I see what's hip and what's not. She gives me fashion tips. and she was like, oh, that doesn't look right. But and I'm able to take over the world of girls. Who run the world? We do.
That's right. I love that. So I know that you mentioned like repairing and rebuilding that relationship. Talk to me on how important is furthering education. Is that something that you want for her? I know that you recently said that you're doing that, and education has been super important for you. So just talk to me on that.
So education is for who it's for. Education is not for everyone. Isaiah is free-spirited, and she don't have any children, so she's not bound to a child or anyone. So she's free. She can do what she want to do, and I encourage that. She's also an entrepreneur. I encourage that. She does pop-up shops. She does socks. She does treats. I encourage that because that's what I encourage for my girls. We have Madison that she does lip care. I have another girl that does wigs. All aesthetic things to make you feel beautiful, to give you that oomph. And that's what the girls do. And that's what I, invest in. I'm like, all right, what you want to do? What's your side hustle when you get older? we so used to the negative things of drug dealing. That's what all you see out in Brownsville. Somebody fighting, shooting, somebody being immature, having negative energy. How you stay positive? How you gonna build? How you gonna build a legacy that you're gonna be proud of? Honestly, I want to reinvent the Black Wall Street of girls. That's what I'm gonna do.
I love that. Well, I gotta stay tuned for that. I can't wait to see it. Talk to me. New programs that you started, further in education-wise, like what are some things that you've done in that space? I know we chatted a little bit earlier, and you were telling me that you just finished up a program, so congratulations to you.
Yes. So the girls just completed 8 weeks of a summer program, Big Sister, Little Sister, which is a stem from the 16-week mentor training program. So some of those girls came in and was like, we want to do something more. What else PureLegacee got for us? And they created a Big Sister, Little Sister program. And I was able to nurture that. We got 4 dope young girls. Actually, it was 6 dope young girls that, they needed some guidance, right? They needed somebody to look up to. They needed somebody to listen to them. So the girls is able to do that. They're able to do self-esteem things because they work on their self-esteem every day. Like one of the things that we do as a group, we have a big group chat. We do positive self affirmations every morning when you get up, even if it's just one. During the mentor training program, I had the girls create their own self-love affirmation. That's what we lack as Black women. We don't have enough self-love. Because when you don't have self-love, then you can't walk into your power. And if you can't walk into your power, then you're able to be led anywhere. And that's not what we want. We want independent thinkers at PureLegacee, and that's what we are developing. Even if you was a follower, when you leave there, you're not going to be a follower anymore. Be like, nah, I don't want to do it. I want to do this, and this is what we are going to do. And that's what PureLegacee is, and that's what the motivation is to build leaders, to build Black women leaders, LGBTQ Black leaders. That's what we want, leaders. We don't want any more followers.
Absolutely. Reclaiming your power. That's what I was thinking when you were saying that. So just talk to me on what's a leader. Like, what qualities does a leader have? Responsibility
is the first one. They accept responsibility. They take accountability. Even as adults, we have a hard time taking accountability. Saying like, I was wrong or that's my bad. A lot of older adults can't do it. So I'm teaching young people, take accountability for the part that you played, right? And how can we make this better? How can you make the situation that you didn't take responsibility, you was not being a leader, now that you weren't being a leader, how are you going to be a leader? You're going to take accountability. You're going to have responsibilities. And I'm going to hold you to that. Just like you hold things to an adult, I'm going to hold you to that even as a youth. You have a certain level of responsibility that I have expectations for, and I want you to do that.
Absolutely. Tell us how people can get involved with you and PureLegacee. Where can they find you?
You can find me at PureLegacee.org, the website. Beautiful website. You can go on to volunteer, donate. We have monthly care packages that we give girls, especially young girls aging out of foster care, facing homelessness. Several of them have children. They're pregnant. And we have doula services there with Doula Alliance by Jessica Maldonado, super dope sister that is always investing in young people, especially young women, because she remember her 16-year-old self. No one forgets that, and that's a constant reminder in the organization. Remember when you did that, and I had youth curse me out, right? But they was able to know that I was gearing them right. And you can also go to our social media handles. We on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Absolutely. Well, what a powerful conversation. Thank you for joining us, Naquasia. We really appreciate it. And for those of you at home watching, thanks for tuning in to Beyond Focus TV show. Make sure to catch us online if you missed the show tonight and on our social media. Share, like, and comment with your friends and family. Good night.
Beyond Focus TV show wants and needs your feedback. Did we blunder? Please let us know so we can improve. Was the show helpful to you? Drop us a note so we can share the success with our staff members. Is there something you think we could do better? We welcome new ideas and new approaches to old ideas. Do you have a great suggestion? Let us know and we'll work on it. If you would like to share your comments anonymously, please send us an email at info@beyondfocusmedia.com. If you want to get in touch with the executive producer directly, send him an email at gene@beyondfocusmedia.com. We really look forward to hearing from you.